it's Megan, and today is another book review day, and I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review on A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. A Song Below Water is a juxtaposition of current affairs right now with the Black Lives Matter movement with a slightly magical twist, which is the addition of magical creatures. And no magical creature is more reviled than the siren. People are afraid of them because they can control things with their voices. I wonder what that's the juxtaposition for here, you know? Anyway, the story is about Tavia and Effie, and the two of them are doing their best to keep the secret that one of them is a siren, while the other one is suffering from blackouts that have plagued her since she was a child. Now, again, this is right smack dab in the Black Lives Matter movement, but at the same time, there is a siren murder trial going on, and a young black woman was murdered, and after the trial has started, it's come out that she's being accused of being a siren, and so her murderer goes free. Well, the girl's favorite beauty blogger takes a stand, comes out and says, "I am a siren," and everything changes. The story itself is so relevant, and there's so much that I want to say about the plot. It tackles things like racism, social justice, activism, Black Lives Matter. I've never read something this relevant in the time it needs to be read. I think that this book is an amazing book that everybody who likes fantasy should give a shot because it has such an important message. There are two points of view in this novel. Effie and Tavia. It starts off in Tavia's point of view, and you spend the entire book inside the minds of these two young black women who are so strong but so scared at the same time. And I'm a middle-class white woman. I will never understand what these people go through, black people go through on a daily basis. There is a part in the book, and this, I'm not spoiling anything, it's in the synopsis. There is a part of the book where Tavia is pulled over for no other reason than she is a black woman driving a nice car. I understand this is fiction. I understand that this is barely even scratching the surface of what black people face in the world today. But it made me so sick. And it's one thing to be told what's happening. It's another thing to be in somebody's mind while it's happening. And again, it's fiction. I understand that. It's not even close. But it still made me ill. The character growth of this story is phenomenal. You spend the whole book inside these two girls' minds. And Tavia, she starts off, she's made herself so small because she can't let anybody know that she's a siren, because if she does, her life will be over, and not only that, but it will affect the lives of her family. Something her father has never let her forget. He has forced her to keep that fear at the front of her brain her entire life, so she's made herself so small. And throughout the story, you know, that shell breaks and she comes into her own, and it shows the strength that she has as a black woman, as a siren, and the steps that she takes at the end of the story at the same way, just to become a bigger part of the conversation. Effie, on the other hand, she has spent her whole life focused on the Ren Fair that she takes part in every year. For 2 weeks out of the year, she gets to be a mermaid. And it's the closest she ever gets to being with her mom again, who has passed on. And so she is so focused on how other people perceive her and how other people want her to be that she struggles with who she is. And she's very uncomfortable in her own skin. By the end of the book, she has grown so much. She has accepted who she is, and she has, you know, decided to say, this is who I am. Accept me or not. It's your choice. But I'm not gonna, you know, deny who I am anymore. And it's such a self-empowering message that I hope that the readers will take to heart. The writing style of this novel is unbalanced, I think, because the pacing itself is kind of split. You start off the story, it's very slow to get into. Once you get closer to the midway point, it hits the gas. And I think that if it had been a little bit more balanced, I probably, wouldn't have taken a break at the very beginning of the book to go do other things. I could have read it in one session. But I think that as well as the fact that inside jokes or cultural things are explained in parentheses in a couple of places, a lot of times through sarcasm. And I think that took me out of the story a little bit. It's a little bit like breaking the fourth wall. I think that if those hadn't been there, I still could have gotten through the story. They were helpful in a couple of places, so I was grateful, but at the same time, not my favorite writing style. The ending itself felt a bit rushed. I think that it spent, all the beginning building very slowly and then ramping up quickly to get to the climax. The climax was very short, and then the epilogue was great. I really liked the message in the epilogue. I really liked where the story was left off, and it left me wanting more, which I think is a great thing, especially for standalone book, which I think this might be a standalone book. It wasn't really left with like a cliffhanger or anything like that to build into a second book, but I wouldn't be opposed to seeing something in the same universe. I did enjoy it. But I think that the pacing and the balance was a little off. I think that this book was published at the right time. It is very relevant to what is going on right now with the Black Lives Matter movement. It is just, like I said in the beginning, I've never read something in the moment. It's been so relevant, and I do recommend it. I did feel a compulsion to read the book because it deals with such relevant topics. I knew before I even opened the book that I was going to finish it, even if I hated it. And I didn't hate it, I liked it a lot. It's going to stay part of my permanent collection. But I want more people to read this book. Okay, so I am just about done with the review, but I kind of want to segue a little bit here. Real talk, I've never considered myself racist. I've never intentionally performed any racist actions or made any racist comments. But that doesn't mean that I haven't accidentally been racist to someone. I'm quoting an episode of Grey's Anatomy because it's such a great speech. But there is a hum in the background of every conversation that, as a, middle-class white woman, I have the luxury of not hearing. But it's there. And it's my job to not add to that buzz. And I think that a book like this makes me more aware of it. And it's something that I should have been aware of from the beginning. And it's not anybody else's job to make me feel good about not being racist. It's not my job, to police anybody else. All I can do is say, I am going to be better. That is it for the conversation part of this video. For the book itself, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Again, I did have some issues with pacing and with a little bit of the writing style, but it's such an important message and it's such a great book, and I hope that you guys will pick it up, give it a shot, let me know what you think because I enjoyed it and I want to hear from you guys. If you guys like my videos, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. I do post on Wednesdays and Fridays, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!